Welcome to the June edition of Northeast Journal. I'm your host, Joe Cullen. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll meet a couple who is providing the North St. Paul area with all natural ice cream and sweets. We'll get a preview of Market Fest in White Bear Lake, and we'll check out some cool toys for rent in Oakdale. All that and more is straight ahead on Northeast Journal. Hello everyone and welcome to the June edition of Northeast Journal. I'm your host Joe Cullen. Every month on Northeast Journal we give you an inside look at the people and places that make up the Northeast section of the Twin Cities. Summer is the perfect time for ice cream. Well, any time is a good time for ice cream in my book, but these warm months ahead are just made for ice cream. But for many who have dietary restrictions or have concerns about sugar, there's not always many tasty alternatives. An area couple is changing that, though, with their line of all-natural ice cream and sweets that you are sure to love. Let's meet the owners of the Love Ice Cream Company in North St. Paul.
If you love ice cream, then North St. Paul is the place for you. Susanna and Ilya Gorodischer own and operate Love Ice Cream in downtown North St. Paul. They make all-natural ice cream and chocolates there and will soon open a cafe. Susanna says the idea for Love Ice Cream came about after she made her husband change his diet.
He said, Susanna, if you think I can, live a life of kale, this is never going to work. I need my chocolate. I need my ice cream. And we started thinking, and we both just decided, you know what? There's got to be a way to make ice cream. It started with the ice cream without sugar.
Susanna's husband, Ilya, is a scientist by profession, and that knowledge was vital to creating an ice cream that was free of sugars, but full of taste.
No one ingredient worked. The ice cream might taste good right out of the ice cream maker, but it wouldn't freeze right, or after 2 days, it was like a brick. So there were lots of reasons why it didn't work, and that's where the science really, really helped us. And we were able to formulate just the right recipe, making our mixes at just the right temperatures, holding them for just the right lengths of time. There's a lot of science that went into it.
Family and friends loved the creation Susanna and Ilya came up with and encouraged them to start selling it. They were a bit resistant to that idea at first.
At our point in our lives, I'm thinking to myself, what are we doing? We're approaching 50 and we're going to start a new business? I mean, so many people are like winding down at our age. But in any case, I kept saying, well, if the stars align, if I'm not going to lose sleep over it, then we'll pursue it, we'll consider it. And the stars aligned.
After using communal kitchens throughout the Twin Cities, Susanna and Ilya found a space in North St. Paul where they can make and sell their treats.
The city of North St. Paul, from the onset, were like, we welcome you, as opposed to other areas that we talked to who really wouldn't even return a phone call or an email, let alone saying, we would love to have you here. So, our heart goes out to the city council people, the mayor, the community people here in North St. Paul, the residents have been nothing but wonderfully welcoming.
One of the most rewarding aspects of making this all-natural line of treats is providing something that kids with food sensitivities can enjoy.
When we have a parent come up to us when we're doing a demo with this bright, shining, happy child because, Mom, can I try this? Or Dad, can I try this? And I'll go through, we're soy-free, we're gluten-free, we have no sugar added, there are no artificial ingredients of any kind in our products. We have 85% of our products that are dairy-free as well. And these little faces just light up, that they can finally have a treat, that they can eat that isn't going to make them sick. So those are the really joyful times that we have.
Love ice cream products are available at a number of grocery stores and co-ops throughout the Twin Cities. The cafe on East 7th in downtown North St. Paul is slated to open this summer. More information is available at loveicecream.com.
In late April, Minnesota lost a music legend when Prince died in Chanhassen. There have been tributes from celebrities and fans from around the world pretty much non-stop since his death. We talked with John Cass, owner of Go Johnny Go Records in downtown White Bear Lake, to get his thoughts on losing one of the most famous musicians to ever come from Minnesota.
John Cass is the guy to go to in White Bear Lake when you're looking for music. He's the owner of Go Johnny Go Records in downtown White Bear Lake and owns tens of thousands of records that he sells in his stores and online. It didn't take long after news of legendary Minnesota musician Prince's death in late April for Cass to get customers buying up old Prince records.
I had 70 Prince records last Thursday, and now I have 3. So yeah, we were selling them like crazy. In fact, we sell on 8 different websites, and we have multiple record stores. And we had one set of inventory that we were pulling from, and records were selling all over the same record was selling at different places all over the world. I had to like find duplicate copies and break the news to people, sorry, we just sold that 15 minutes ago to somebody in Zimbabwe, that kind of a thing.
Cass has been a fan of Prince's music since his earliest albums and has seen him in concert a number of times.
I ran into him twice, once at First Avenue. It's funny, it's just about everybody that I have ever talked to that bumped into Prince. They literally bumped into Prince at First Avenue because he was about this tall and you'd bump into him, really, literally. I also met him another time at a hotel when he was doing auditions for extras for Purple Rain. So I got to say I met him twice.
Cass thinks we may never see another musician like Prince again.
It's really kind of incredible when you think about it. I just read something today that pointed out, if you look at like all the other big stars of the 80s, like Madonna and Bruce Springsteen and like all of the stalwarts like Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones, on their records, they've got the best top session musicians in the world playing, right? And one guy who's competing with them, Prince, played everything and produced it all himself. That's incredible when you think about it. And he's from Minnesota? Wow.
Go Johnny Go is located on Banning Avenue in downtown White Bear Lake, or you can order online at gojohnnygo.com.
It's time for a short break. We'll be right back to get a preview of Market Fest in White Bear Lake. Welcome back to Northeast Journal. Market Fest is a free family festival held in downtown White Bear Lake on Thursday evenings from mid-June to the end of July. I'm now joined by the director of Market Fest, Deb Stender. Deb, I want to thank you so much for coming here again. You were here last year.
Thanks, Joe.
And I know last year the big thing was it was the 25th anniversary of Market Fest, so
Correct.
Now we're on to the 26th year already. It's gone by quickly. And you know, I kind of just briefly mentioned what Market Fest is, but for those who are watching, if say they're new to the area and have never heard of Market Fest, can you kind of tell me a little bit more about what it is?
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. Thanks for having me. It is amazing that it's the 26th year this year, and I'm proud to say that it really is an event for all ages, everybody. We have things that really, I think, hit every demographic, from our littlest kids to our most senior community. You know, it's really a fun event that captures a lot of things for people.
And as mentioned, it's every Thursday night, and it's free to attend.
Absolutely free admission.
And you get music is always one of the big highlights. Can you tell me a little bit about what people can expect? I know you have 2 stages of music.
Absolutely. So both stages, we've got one on the gazebo stage that's on Washington Avenue, and then one that we call our 3rd Street stage, which is sponsored by Mitsubishi, White Bear Mitsubishi. And those entertainment acts run simultaneously, usually a little bit of a different genre of music on each stage. And both stages also have an intermission act too that can be anything from a performing arts center to harmonica lessons that we're having this year. So I'd encourage people to look at the website and look at the White Bear Press as it gets a little bit closer to outline those events. But lots of entertainment starting right at 6 and ending at 9.
And I know all the years I've been going to it, I've never, seen any music there or heard any music that wasn't good, but you have nice descriptions I saw on your website if somebody really wants to know what type of music it is, and even list the, like you said, the intermission acts.
The full bios of the bands, and of course websites to them if anybody wants to get to know the bands a little bit better. But we have a lot of local entertainers too, which is very nice. A lot of them have ties to White Bear Lake, so that makes it, I think, even more special. But just to name a few, we've got Hornucopia, which is members of the former Power of 10 band, which I think a lot of people recognize in the Twin Cities. But we are lucky to have Katie Vernon, Tim Cheesebro, Scotty Miller, just to name a few that we're excited that, again, they have ties to White Bear Lake, and that's really important to us.
Nice things too, a lot of these, I know Katie Vernon was just, I think, on the cover of the White Bear Lake magazine lately. A lot of these are getting attention around the Twin Cities, so it's fun to see them in a kind of intimate setting.
Casual,
you're outside, it's not costing you anything, and
absolutely.
Easy to bring the kids as opposed to a club or something that maybe they play at other times.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of that too is that because it's an open air market feel, people can come and go as they please. If they want to catch, part of the act on one stage, they could do that and meander around and partake in the other activities of the festival, and then they could go to the other stage if they'd care to. So it's free flowing and they can move around at their will.
I know from being there, our sister station, Channel 19, brings our production truck out there and covers the concerts on the gazebo stage, and occasionally I'll help out and run a camera, and I think one of the hardest parts is just seeing the people that come and go as they're coming back with some of the great food and sitting there enjoying food, and I'm running a camera.
And they're not sharing?
Yeah, they're not sharing, but usually there's time afterwards I'm able to go out and get some great food, and that's obviously a popular draw to Market Fest too, the wide variety of food that people can get.
Yeah, it's a really nice variety too. There's about 40 specific food vendors, and that's everything from your regular festival fare, hot dogs, cheese curds, to gourmet sandwiches and ice cream. So it's a nice variety. Again, something that we think kind of hits just about everybody's palate.
And I know, there's some long-time favorites, some that have been there every single year of Market Fest, and they're always in that same spot. I know for myself, I have a few favorites that I'm afraid to try other things because I know I love that so much, but I know I should, probably try some of the other great things there too.
Yeah, and that is a neat thing because, like you said, there's some of those favorites that have been there from year to year to year, and then there's a sprinkling of some new too. So I won't give it away, but I would recommend walking around and making your selections.
Yeah, and work off some of the food by walking
Absolutely.
around. And and obviously I saw on your website it mentions it's a rain or shine event, but knock on wood, last few years especially we've had some beautiful nights out there.
Weather's been wonderful. Yeah, so hopefully this year same thing.
Yeah, and like you said, there's besides the food and the music, there's also some great vendors there. I know my wife likes looking at the jewelry or different items for kids, or community organizations too that are often represented.
You can learn a lot about what's going on in your community by walking around too. Something I love too as part of our event is the classic car show. There's usually about 50 plus cars that come to that, and from all years, so that's very interesting. Speaking of the kids too, we have a large area this year sponsored by Snap Fitness, our activity zone, which has inflatables, a climbing wall, some slides, things of that nature, and then we've got our petting zoo as well. That's kind of nice for all ages.
Yeah, I mentioned to you before the interview, I have a young son who that's his favorite area, is obviously inflatables and everything. So we try to sometimes save that for last, but kids have a way of, he can see it from a mile away, and we're going to be there for quite a while. But it's great to have, because
Get a little energy out too.
energy, and some of it's kind of close to the food too. So we're able to have one person watch them while the other grabs their food. And it seems like one of the big things about MarketFest too is just that chance to see your neighbors. We're all busy these days, but it seems like it's pretty rare that I don't run into quite a few people that I know while I'm just walking around.
No, I think that is too another really special part of this event. Is it does seem like there's little mini reunions kind of everywhere you turn around and look, whether it's neighbors or past schoolmates, that thing. It's really fun to, and I get the privilege of eavesdropping a little bit as I'm walking around, and I do think that that's really a nice part of our event.
Yeah, and I think for people just making memories, I know for my family, my son is 10. I have memories of us, when he was an infant, pushing him in the stroller to now, and even my wife and I going there, with friends before we even had kids. And I'd imagine, for some people that have been going since day one, 26 years ago.
And how much it's changed since then too, which is nice.
Yeah, and is there anything else that you're particularly excited about for this year's MarketFest?
Sure. Well, there's a couple of new items that I'd love to just explain a little bit about. On our 4th Street area, we have our theme weeks typically there, and so we do have one week where we'll showcase public safety and a health fair, a resource fair. One of the newer theme weeks this year is showcasing the downtown businesses in sort of a runway fashion, but not necessarily a fashion show. It can be, people I think will be surprised at what will be showcased there. And if they attend, there's lots of prizes too, so I'd recommend going to that one. Another feature that is neat, I think this year too, is an old-fashioned shooting gallery, kind of what you would think of when we were kids and went to the circus and could aim at the different targets. And the beauty of this too is that the gentleman that is bringing this to us is donating the proceeds to local nonprofits and charities in the White Bear area. So I feel like that's a nice, it's a new addition, but it's also giving back to the community too. Just one other item I'd like to share with anybody that's watching too is that we're also this year a White Bear food shelf drop-off site. And so if anybody's inclined to donate a non-perishable item or cash donation, there will be the good folks from that organization there at our information booths too. So just an opportunity again to give back to the community that is so rich in giving.
And I'm sure they appreciate that, because I know we've done stories in them in the past. People tend to be generous all year long, but especially around the holidays is when most people think to do that. But especially in the summer months, there's still people
needs.
in need that need food, and they need to stock their shelves there. So if they can get a little help during the summer, I'm sure that would be great. And one other item I didn't want to forget is, I know you mentioned to me before the interview that you're looking for help. You're always using volunteers, but even this year kind of reaching out to maybe some teenagers to do different things.
Yeah, and again, this event certainly wouldn't be what it is without the wonderful volunteers of our community. But yeah, I would love to put out information that we love to have our students and our youth of the community involved in many fashions, whether it's helping to set up, to announcing some stage acts, to some budding photographers. We'd love to get some new perspective and some new pictures. I'd encourage to anybody that's interested in participating to look at our website, but also too a special offer out there too if there's any budding entrepreneurs in our student population that would like a booth. I would love to offer that as well and give them that experience to showcase their business. So please get involved.
So really, like you said, earlier, it's really kind of an event for all ages. I know myself when you're there. I mean, obviously you see the really little kids. There's seniors that are doing things there, both in an attending capacity, but also, volunteering there. You see all ages too.
Absolutely.
That's great. And if people are interested, you mentioned a website. I believe it's marketfest.org.
.org. Yep, correct.
Perfect. So yeah, I know myself. I go on there every year, and it's great. You can see all the acts, the entertainment, the dates, and everything. I saw you guys have a Facebook page too. People
We do.
Search MarketFest, so pretty
Social
easy
media,
to get
social
info.
media.
And you can't miss it. I know if you're driving on 61, even before it opens, you'll already see
The setup.
people
is
getting
it?
set
Yeah.
up, and
Really
And-
transforms the downtown area.
Yeah, and do you have advice for people in terms of parking? I know sometimes, depending on what time you get there, it could be a little tricky.
Yeah, parking is available on all of the streets around the event. I would just encourage people to look at the signs, make sure that it's an okay area, especially some of the private lots. But it really, if you circle around the perimeter of the actual event, you will find it. Even going north across to 61 too is a good bet for parking as well.
And I think for people that probably go often, kind of like I said, people have their preferences for food vendors, and after a while you kind of learn, oh, this is a good spot.
This is where
and
I'm going to go.
Especially depending on the time. I know we pretty much have our regular spots, especially if you don't mind walking a few blocks. It's usually not a big deal on a beautiful night. And
Absolutely.
always
Enjoy the weather.
Plenty to see. I know sometimes too I've parked a little north of the event, and that kind of forced me to go through maybe the car show part, which maybe I wouldn't have before. And I think it was either last year or the year before, I was surprised. You had your great cars that you normally see, but there was even like DeLorean, like from Back to the Future there. And
quite a variety that comes out.
things that I wasn't expecting to see. So it's fun to just kind of venture off. And
if you have a
look at all
car, bring it down.
I don't know if they'd be too impressed with my 98 Toyota Corolla, but it's getting more vintage
It's
by the
getting,
year.
yeah, I was
but-
to say, another couple years.
Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll park that out there this year. But again, we thank you so much for Deb for coming by today, and we encourage people to go to marketfest.org and attend MarketFest many times this summer.
Thanks. I hope to see everybody there.
Fun tradition. And we'll probably have you on again maybe in the fall to talk about White Bear Township Day. I know
That'll be coming around the corner as well.
that last year too. All right, thanks so
Okay.
much. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Joe.
And it's time for another short break. We'll be right back with more of Northeast Journal in just a minute.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Northeast Journal. Minnesotans love to go boating and ride recreational vehicles in the summer, but for many, the cost of purchasing and maintenance can be prohibitive. A new Oakdale business is making it easier by offering a wide variety of rentals. Let's visit the Fractional Toy Store.
All the fun for only a fraction of the cost. That's the motto of Fractional Toys in Oakdale.
Fractional Toys is about recreational toys, obviously. I started to help people get outdoors for a fraction of the cost. That's where the name came from. I came from a background of selling boats and just realized that when people purchase something, they always kind of wanted something else too.
Fractional Toys gives year-round access to recreational vehicles such as boats, snowmobiles, and RVs. Customers can either rent them just once or become members and have access to even more benefits.
There's been boat clubs forever. There's been car clubs, this and that. And the one-off rentals is really a great way for us to earn someone's trust. So they'll come in, they'll see our campers, they'll see how nice they are. They'll see some of the other stuff and they'll ask, hey, what's all this or whatnot? And then it's a good segue into the membership.
Fractional Toys is located at 7500 Hudson Boulevard North in Oakdale. For more information, visit their website at fractionaltoys.com.
Staying on the topic of new businesses in Oakdale, there's a new place for you to do loads of laundry with the help of cutting-edge technology. Check it out.
If you've got loads of laundry to clean, then head over to the newest laundromat in Oakdale, which just happens to be called Loads of Laundry. Owner Russ Sherping opened Loads of Laundry in August.
All the equipment's brand new, washers and dryers. We have washers and dryers that accommodate large loads as quilts, comforters, area rugs, sleeping bags. But one of the services we have here, or not service, but is the ozone water, which is water that's been treated to reduce bacteria and viruses on contact, improves the smell of your clothes, and also increases the drying time of a load. So, but in reality, it's better for the environment too. It's green, as you could say, as today's services are going forward.
Besides the state-of-the-art washers and dryers, Loads of Laundry has other amenities for customers, including a TV, Wi-Fi, and seating areas.
It's well lit. It's security, security here. automatic front sliding door, which is a nice feature that customers comment on, especially if the elderlies come in with laundry baskets full. It means you don't have to push any doors open. We have laundry carts, bathroom that's well maintained and so forth. And so it's just a well-kept, well-cleaned place.
There are weekly specials at Loads of Laundry, including $1 off washes on Wednesdays and free drying on Fridays for loyalty card members. Loads of Laundry is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. They're located on 12th Street North, just a half block north of the Oakdale Post Office.
It's hard to believe that Target Field, home of the Minnesota Twins, has been open since 2010. While the Twins aren't exactly the best team in baseball right now, it's still a great place to see a game. Here's a look back at a story we did back in the first year Target Field opened that has a local connection.
A passion for collecting and a love for the Minnesota Twins has led Clyde Deppner to his dream job.
I've got a defective gene, and the defective gene says if I see one of something, I need to learn about it. I need to find out about it. I need to find out if there's any other ones out there. I was lucky enough to play baseball, went to college on a baseball scholarship, and my arm blew out. I was a pitcher, and that ended that. So if I couldn't play it, I wanted to collect it. And that's really where the passion for Twins came. I went to the first game in '61 with my dad, brought a few items home, still have them. And I'm just that kind of a collector. I just collect and never sold an item. And my dream always was to end up right where I am now.
Deppner did work with the Minnesota Twins periodically over the years due to his large collection of memorabilia, but a year and a half ago he was hired full-time as the team curator. He's currently the only team curator in all of Major League Baseball. Deppner was raised in North St. Paul, graduated from North High, and taught for many years at Tartan High School. Besides cataloging the many items that make up the Twins' history, Deppner also gives tours of the Twins' new stadium, Target Field. He also puts together all of the display cases located throughout the stadium.
One of the biggest kicks I get, I love collecting and I like the people contact and all of that, but I take a lot of pride that I do all my own display work too. So every case I've displayed myself.
Here's a look at a couple of the cases Deppner has put together.
What we have here is a display case set aside, setting up everything that we could possibly think of collecting from the first game ever played at Target Field, the first regular season game. For example, this is the first base ever used at Target Field. Now I have the second and the third one also. I also have second base, third base, home plate, but I selected this just as an example of what we could show. In front of it is a picture of some umpires, and the reason the umps made this case, the three umpires on the right, Timmy Cheetah and Wagner and Jeff, all are umpires from Minnesota. Here's the first pitch ever thrown in an honorary position. Jerry Bell, we wouldn't have this if it wasn't for Jerry Bell, North St. Paul kid, and he was in charge of this whole, for years, talking to the legislature, talking to people in the state. And we're honored to have Jerry Bell be from my hometown, North St. Paul, and we're honored to have Jerry's ball in here. So he threw out the honorary first pitch. It's a special baseball, gold leaf sent out by Major League Baseball that he threw out, he autographed, and it's in the case. So thank you, Jerry Bell.
That's all we have time for on this month's show. Thanks for tuning in, and join us again next month for another edition of Northeast Journal.